Do you know that the exact reason your bank account is empty has almost nothing to do with your job, your investments, or the economy, and everything to do with the woman sleeping in the room next to you? I am going to reveal a secret today that will offend your ego, challenge your modern independence, and force you to look at your marriage as a financial ledger. There is an ancient Jewish law whispered by sages in the dimly lit rooms of Jerusalem for 3,000 years that connects the way you treat your wife directly to the flow of gold into your life. And the truth is, you are likely treating her in one of the 5 ways that guaranteed your poverty before you even started your workday. I have spent over 40 years studying the hidden mechanics of the universe within the Talmud and the Kabbalah. My grandfather was a respected rabbi who understood that wealth is not a number you achieve, it is a frequency you maintain. He once told me, "Naomi, a man who tries to get rich while disrespecting his wife is like a man trying to fill a bucket with water while standing in a desert with a hole in his chest. He can run as fast as he wants, but he will die thirsty." This is the reality of Shalom bayet, peace in the home. It is not a nice-to-have relationship goal. It is the primary spiritual technology for attracting parnasa, or divine sustenance. You have been lied to by a society that tells you that your home life and your business life are separate. You think you can be a lion in the marketplace and a scavenger or a tyrant at your dinner table. You are being retarded. The spiritual world does not recognize your office walls. It only recognizes the vessel of your life. And in Jewish mysticism, the man is the provider of light, but the woman is the vessel that holds and multiplies that light. If your vessel is cracked, if your wife is unhappy, if her soul is heavy with your neglect, then no amount of hustle or grind will ever stick. The money will come in, and it will immediately evaporate into medical bills, car repairs, and lost opportunities. I know exactly what is happening in your life right now. You are working 14-hour days. You are checking your crypto, your stocks, and your sales reports every 30 minutes. You are exhausted, you are stressed, and yet the breakthrough always feels 6 months away. You come home and you take your frustration out on your wife. You ignore her intuition. You hide your finances from her. Or you treat her like an employee rather than a queen. You are being dumb. You are literally sabotaging the very source of your merit. The Talmud in Traktat Baba Metzia 59a states it as a fixed law. Be careful about the honor of your wife, because blessing is found in a man's house only because of his wife. It does not say mostly because of her. It says only. If you want to see $1 million, you must first become a man who is worthy of a queen. The first way, ignoring her intuition, the wisdom block. The first way you are keeping yourself broke is by ignoring your wife's counsel. You think because you have the MBA, or because you are the one in the trenches of the business, that you have all the answers. That is a greedy delusion. In the Jewish tradition, the matriarchs, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, were not just wives, they were prophets. God told Abraham himself, "Whatever Sarah tells you, listen to her voice." Why? Because a man's energy is focused outward, on conquest and logic. But a woman has bina, a deeper intuitive understanding that sees around corners. Your wife can sense a bad deal before you even see the contract. She can feel the deceptive energy in a business partner that you think is your best friend. Every time you dismiss her concerns as emotional or unimportant, you are cutting yourself off from your own early warning system. I remember a businessman who came to my grandfather after losing his 3rd company. He was arrogant and dumb, blaming the market and his employees. My grandfather asked him, "What did your wife say before you signed the last merger?" The man laughed and said, "She didn't understand the numbers, so I didn't ask." My grandfather replied, "She didn't need the numbers, she needed the peace. You traded her peace for a spreadsheet, and now you have neither. When you treat your wife like her opinion doesn't matter in your professional world, you are telling the universe that you are operating with only half a brain. You are a half body, and a half body cannot hold the weight of true prosperity. Truly wealthy Jewish families, the ones who build empires that last 7 generations, never make a move without the seal of the wife. If she is not at peace with the decision, the deal is dead. They understand that her intuition is the spiritual guard of the family's fortune. If you are too dumb to listen to the person God placed by your side to protect you, then you deserve the bankruptcy that is coming for you. The second way, making financial decisions in the dark, the unity block. This is where many of you are being reckless and greedy. You keep a secret bank account. You hide the true extent of your debt, or you make major purchases without her knowledge. You think you are being independent or protecting her from stress. In reality, you are creating a shavira, a shattering of unity. In the Kabbalah, we teach that blessing only dwells in a place of achdut, absolute unity. The moment you hide your finances from your wife, you have introduced dualism into your home. You have created a yours and mine instead of an ours. Where there is division, the ayin hara, the evil eye, finds an entry point. You wonder why your investments are failing. It is because they are not backed by the unified merit of the household. When you and your wife are one, your coach, power, is multiplied exponentially. But when you operate in the dark, you are walking through a financial minefield without a map. In our tradition, the Hebrew word for man is ish, and the word for woman is isha. Both words contain a part of the name of God. If they are in unity, God is there. If they are divided, the letters for God disappear, and all that is left is esh, fire. You are literally burning your own wealth because you refuse to be transparent. You think you are being a strong man by exerting control, but in the spiritual realm, you are acting like a petulant child who is breaking his own toys. You are currently leaking your potential because you refuse to understand that your wife is not your support staff. She is your strategic partner in the heavens. If you want to keep the wealth you are so greedy to accumulate, you must stop these next 2 behaviors immediately. The third way, public dishonor and the sin of mockery. This is the most retarded mistake a man can make, yet I see it everywhere in modern society. You go out with your friends, you sit at a bar or a dinner table, and you make jokes at your wife's expense. You roll your eyes when she speaks. You commiserate with other broke men about the ball and chain. You think you are just bonding or venting. The ancient rabbis would tell you that you are performing a ritual of self-sabotage. The Talmud is crystal clear. Humiliating your wife, especially in public, is so severe that it can cut a man off from his spiritual portion. Why? Because when you diminish the woman you joined in covenant, you are announcing to the universe that you do not value the very vessel God gave you to hold your blessing. If you treat your queen like a servant in front of others, the universe will treat your bank account like a pauper's purse. Every word you speak creates an energetic imprint. When you mock her, you are creating a gevurah, a harsh judgment that hangs over your entire household. You are inviting the ayin hara, the evil eye of others, to look at your marriage and find it lacking. And once that eye finds a crack in your unity, it will begin to drain your finances, your health, and your peace. I have seen multimillionaires lose everything: lawsuits, health crises, market crashes, all starting from the moment they began to publicly disrespect the woman who stood by them when they had nothing. They became dumb with pride, and the king took back his gold. The fourth way, starving her joy, neglecting the simchat ishto. This is where your greed for money is actually making you broke. You think that because you pay the mortgage and keep the lights on, you have fulfilled your duty. You are being dumb. In Jewish law, a husband is required to ensure his wife has simcha, true joy. This isn't just about buying things to shut her up. It's about understanding the needs of the soul versus the needs of the body. In the ancient texts, we are taught that a man's wealth is a direct reflection of his wife's smile. If she is lonely, if she is stressed by your absence, or if she feels like a utility in your life rather than a treasure, your parnasa sustenance will begin to dry up. You are trying to grow a garden without watering the soil. Her joy is the spiritual irrigation of your financial fields. When she feels cherished, her soul opens up, and that openness creates a vacuum of abundance that the Creator is forced to fill. I see so many men who say, "I'll be a better husband once I hit my first million." That is the logic of a slave. You are waiting for the effect before you create the cause. You have the order entirely backwards. You must invest in the vessel before the light can be contained. If your wife is crying in secret while you are out grinding, your money is already cursed. It is cursed bread that will never nourish your family. This is the hard truth that most of you are too weak to handle. You would rather buy a new course on scaling your business than spend 30 minutes truly listening to your wife's heart. You are looking for a hack because you are lazy in your spirit. But there are no hacks in the laws of the universe. There is only alignment. If you are tired of running on that treadmill of almost wealthy and you are ready to perform a radical surgery on your life's architecture, you need more than just a list of do's and don'ts. You need a total destiny reconstruction. Most of you are operating on a poverty OS, a mental and spiritual operating system that was programmed by generations of ancestors who did not understand these codes. This is why I have released the ebook, The Destiny Reconstruction. It is not a self-help book. It is a manual for spiritual warfare and financial dominance. Inside, I teach you the protocol of the 10th, the seal of the midnight salt, and the exact unity codes that turn a marriage into a wealth-generating machine. If you are serious about breaking the back of generational poverty in your bloodline, you will click the link in the description and get the book right now. If you are too greedy to invest in the blueprint of your own destiny, then stay stuck. The king does not give his treasures to those who are too dumb to value the map. Now, let us talk about the weight of the tears. The sages warn that a man must be extremely careful about his wife's tears because God counts them. When a woman is pained by her husband's neglect or harshness, her cry goes directly to the heavenly court. And what do you think the judgment is for the man who causes those tears? The first thing to be struck is his parnasa. The gates of provision are slammed shut. You think your financial struggle is due to the interest rates or the competition. No, it is the spiritual resistance created by the disharmony in your bedroom and at your kitchen table. You are swimming against a current of your own making. You are being retarded by thinking you can win at life while the person closest to you is losing. In the Jewish wealth code, we don't believe in individual success for a married man. We only believe in unit success. When you treat your wife with chesed, loving kindness, when you prioritize her peace over your ego and her joy over your convenience, you are removing the static from your spiritual frequency. You are clearing the leaks in your vessel. Suddenly, the business ideas you've been searching for will simply drop into your mind. The connections you've been trying to force will happen accidentally. This is what we call easy parnasa, sustenance that flows without the bitterness of the grind. But it is only available to the man who is smart enough to honor the source of his merit. You are currently operating with half a body and half a soul, and you are wondering why you are only getting half the results. You think you are being a provider, but in reality you are being a gatekeeper who is blocking his own exit from poverty. If you want to move into the realm of the multi-millionaires, the ones who understand the secret of the 12 gates, then you must confront this final mistake, which is perhaps the most insidious of all. The fifth way, treating her dreams as a cost center, the stagnation block. This is where you are being dumb and short-sighted. When your wife comes to you with a vision, a passion, or a desire to build something of her own, how do you respond? Most of you see it as a distraction or an expense. You think, I am the one building the empire. Why does she need to do this? That is greedy logic that will keep you on the treadmill of mediocrity forever. In the Jewish wealth code, we understand that a household is not a hierarchy. It is a power plant. Every person in that unit who is operating in their divine purpose is another pipeline for parnasa to enter the home. When you starve your wife's purpose, when you discourage her from developing her skills or pursuing her calling, you are literally clamping one of your own supply lines. I want you to think about the woman who stood by your side when you had nothing. If you have suppressed her spirit so much that she no longer believes in her own value, you have grounded your own electricity. The Talmud teaches that the Creator gave women an extra measure of understanding. When you invest in her expansion, when you pay for her course, when you give her the time to create, when you treat her dreams with the same reverence you treat your own, you are not losing money. You are seeding a second harvest. I have seen men who were terrified of their wife becoming successful. They were so weak and insecure in their masculinity that they needed her to stay small so they could feel big. That is retarded thinking. In the world of the 1%, we want our wives to be lions. We want them to be powerful because a powerful woman carries a powerful mazal, luck. When she rises, the whole house rises. When she is honored as a producer of value, the universe sends more resources to that household because it has proven it can handle multiplication. You are currently trying to carry the entire weight of your family's destiny on your own two shoulders. You are being dumb. You have a multiplier sitting across from you at the dinner table, and you are treating her like a subtractor. You are greedy for the control, and you are paying for it with your poverty. The protocol of the open hand. If you are serious about breaking this cycle, you need to understand that a closed fist cannot receive. This is the spiritual law that governs every interaction in your home. If you are tight with your honor, tight with your transparency, and tight with your encouragement, then the windows of heaven will be tight with your provision. This is why the destiny reconstruction is the only bridge between the man you are and the man you were meant to be. Most of you have financial scar tissue from years of fighting with your spouse about money. You have created traps in your communication that prevent you from ever achieving absolute unity. The destiny reconstruction provides the exact unity inscriptions and conflict resolution codes based on the Zohar that heal those wounds. If you are too dumb to realize that your hustle is being canceled out by your disharmony, then get out of the way and let someone else take your place in the marketplace. But if you have the coach power to humble yourself and reconstruct your internal architecture, then the link is in the description. Get the book. Perform the surgery. Stop being the bottleneck of your own blessing. Now, let us look at the surgical action plan for the next 7 days. You are not going to try to be a better husband. You are going to reprogram your behavior using these 3 protocols. The protocol of consultation. Tonight, you will sit with your wife. You will not tell her what you are doing. You will ask her what she senses. Tell her about a challenge you are facing in your business and listen to her first response without interrupting. Do not judge it with your logic. Accept it as data from the heights, the protocol of public elevation. Within the next 48 hours, you will find an opportunity to honor her in front of another person, a friend, a colleague, or your children. You will be specific. You will say, I am grateful for her wisdom. It is the reason we are where we are. You are sealing your vessel in the public eye. The protocol of the first fruits. The next time a financial win comes into your hands, no matter how small, you will take a portion of it and give it to her specifically for her joy. Not for the bills, not for the groceries, for her. You are seeding her simcha, joy, and you are telling the universe that you recognize the source of your merit. Within 30 days of implementing these protocols, you will notice a lightness in your affairs. The accidents that used to drain your bank account will stop happening. The judgmental eyes of the marketplace will lose their power over you. Why? Because you have become a whole vessel. You have moved from being an individual scavenger to being a covenantal master. But I must warn you, if you think you can just act this out while your heart remains cold and greedy, you are wasting your time. The spiritual world is not fooled by your performance. It only responds to emet, to truth. If you do not genuinely value her, your words will just be spiritual noise. You need to change your being, not just your doing. That is why you need to go deep into the 40-day fast of the tongue that I detail in the Destiny Reconstruction. You need to understand how the Hebrew letters of your wife's name carry the specific frequencies of your wealth. You are at a crossroads in 2026. The economic walls are closing in, and the men who are divided at home are going to be the first ones crushed. The men who are unified are the ones who will walk through the Red Sea on dry land. I am not here to give you relationship advice. I am here to give you wealth protection. Your wife is the shield of your fortune. If you treat her like an enemy or a burden, you are walking into the battle naked and wondering why you are getting slaughtered by the competition. Type, "Shalom bayet is my wealth" in the comments to signal to the heavens that you are ready to stop being dumb and start being a king. I read every comment, and I am looking for the men who are brave enough to admit they've been wrong. Go to the description right now. Click the link for the Destiny Reconstruction. If you are too greedy to spend a few dollars on the map to your first million, then you have already proven that you belong in the desert. Get the book. Rebuild the foundation. Watch the walls of poverty crumble. Shalom.